They've come by car, by bus, and by plane, hundreds of thousands from every corner of the country converging on the Capitol to honor their new commander-in-chief. Good morning, I'm Jaciel Cordoba. The stage is set in Washington, D.C. for a historic changing of the guard at the White House. This is a live look at the festivities going on in the Capitol. People from all over the country have flooded the National Mall to witness history unfold. Joe Biden is set to be sworn in as vice president in about 15 minutes. Then Barack Obama will take the oath of office as the country's first African-American president. Pastor Rick Warren has been chosen to deliver the invocation. A number of other singers and musicians will also play a role in today's ceremony. When Barack Obama does take the oath of office, he'll be in the company of a few million of his closest friends. Hundreds of thousands of people converged on the National Mall even before the sun came up. As you can imagine, space near the U.S. Capitol is at a premium today. The many who made the trek to D.C. did so despite extremely tight security and temperatures in the 20s. Those who can't get close enough to the Capitol will have to settle for watching the events on the giant TV screens erected along the National Mall. Only 28,000 seats are available on Capitol grounds. But even those who don't exactly have the best seats in the House don't seem too disappointed. A party-like atmosphere seems to be pervading the National Mall. The excitement there was evident earlier today. All that jumping around is probably keeping them warm. As you can see, the Stars and Stripes is a popular accessory to carry today. Of course, you don't have to be in Washington to be a part of this new chapter in American history. Many people have opted to stay home and watch the whole thing unfold on TV. Several viewing parties have been planned around our area. WFMZ's Stephanie Esposito is live at one of those parties at the Allentown Brew Works. Stephanie, what is the mood like where you are?
Jaciel, it's actually pretty loud in here, so I'm having a tough time hearing you. As you can tell, the energy is extremely high here at the Brew Works in Allentown. We are arguably a few minutes away from one of the most historic moments in our nation's history. As you can see behind me, the room is filling up. Brew Works actually had over 200 people registered for this event, so they are utilizing all 3 floors of their facility. The anticipation is extremely high for the topics which President-elect Obama will be discussing in his speech. That may be the very last time we'll get to call him President-elect. President Obama will be taking the stage in just about 29 minutes or so, according to the schedule. And as you can see behind me, the room is just filled with energy. Every single one of these people will remember exactly where they were standing at this historic moment. If you're looking for something to do tonight, there are balls around the area, but here at Brew Works in particular, they are having a ball starting at 8 o'clock. There are 19 seats left, and it will provide a place for you to watch all of the festivities live right here from Allentown. In Allentown, I'm Stephanie Esposito, 69 News.
Thank you, Stephanie. And as Stephanie said, Barack Obama will be sworn into the highest office in the country in about a half hour. And when he does take the oath of office, the ceremony will be rich in symbolism. He'll hold his hand on the same Bible Abraham Lincoln used for his inauguration in 1861. Obama has drawn lots of comparisons to Lincoln for his oratory style and method of leadership.
There's no question that President Obama is imitating Lincoln even down to the whistle-stop tour, also trying to harken back to an early, simpler time, which I find interesting.
Those close to the Obama camp say he has been studying Lincoln's second inauguration address, and we may hear some quotes during the ceremony today. As you can imagine, Barack Obama's schedule has been jam-packed ever since he arrived in Washington, D.C. earlier this month. He spent his last day as president-elect yesterday performing various acts of service as a tribute to Martin Luther King, Jr. At night, he squeezed in appearances at 3 black-tie dinners. One paid tribute to Obama's one-time rival on the presidential campaign trail, John McCain. The others were held in honor of Colin Powell and Joe Biden. Obama started his morning with a private service in a church not far from the White House. From there, he traveled to his new home on Pennsylvania Avenue to carry on a presidential tradition. He had coffee with the man he's replacing. An outgoing President George Bush has put pen to paper to carry on another White House tradition. He left a note in the Oval Office desk for Obama. The White House says the note deals with many of the themes the two men have discussed since the election. Many local residents are among those who made the trek to Washington, and they had to get up extra early for the occasion. Some 250 students from Muhlenberg College got on buses bound for D.C. around 1:30 this morning. WFMZ's Bo Koltnow tagged along with them, and he'll have more on the trip later today on 69 News. The buses were heading out early from Berks County this morning as well. 3 busloads of Obama supporters left First Energy Stadium around 4 this morning. WFMZ's Melissa Batulis is on that trip, and we'll hear more about the group's adventure tonight on 69 News Berks Edition. The mass of people who flooded the Capitol is certainly a mixed bag. Leaders from all levels of government and celebrities are among those in the mix. Director Steven Spielberg was spotted in the crowd earlier today, and so was actor Dustin Hoffman. And politicians from both sides of the aisle have turned out for today's ceremony. Vice President Dick Cheney is watching the action from a wheelchair. He hurt his back while moving some boxes into his new home outside of Washington. And we have several crews outside D.C. for the big day. WFMZ's Bo Koltnow rode into Washington on a bus with students and teachers from Muhlenberg College in Allentown. He joins us on the phone with more on the scene in the Capitol. Bo.
Hello?
The Capitol. Bo, you able to hear me there?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about where you are and what you're seeing right now?
Oh, yeah. It's loud right now is what it is. We're right by a huge jumbotron in the northwest corner, right by the Washington Monument. It is an absolute sea of people here. I mean, you can't even describe what it's like. I'm actually in one of the few areas that is not covered with people. There are jumbotrons all up and down the National Mall, and the amount of people huddled around to view it, especially now as the inauguration is starting to get going, is just overwhelming. Around 10:30, or a little bit before that, they actually closed a large section of the National Mall. You can't even really get through from the Washington Monument here. I apologize if it's tough to understand me. It's just very, very cold. It's very, very windy, but that's not deterring anybody here. Everyone is in such a great mood. There's been some a little confusion about where people can go, where they can't go, but everyone's been in wonderful spirits. People very, very friendly. Everyone here is just so excited to get this day going, and now that it's just about here, the anticipation is just overwhelming.
Well, you traveled there with some students from Muhlenberg College. Tell us what they are experiencing right now, and what are their emotions right now?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
All right, try to give us the sense of the emotion of the students you traveled there to D.C. with.
Well, the students that traveled this morning from Muhlenberg, they were extremely, extremely excited. We got on the bus with them about 1:30. And we arrived here in D.C. at about 6. And I don't know if you can hear behind me, there's a bunch of crowds going on right now as I think President-elect Barack Obama is now coming on the jumbo screen. But we've actually, there's just so many people here that we kind of lost contact with the Muhlenberg College. We're trying to hook up with them a little bit ago, but because everything is so cordoned off, we can't get to them. But they were very, very excited this morning. They were all in great spirits. Everybody arrived at around 1 o'clock at Muhlenberg College this morning, and they're just totally enjoying this day. And we will meet up with them probably around 4 o'clock when the buses will depart back to Allentown.
Okay, well, Bo, thank you, and we will check in with you later on this evening in our news beginning at 5.
Hey, thank you.
All right. And now we're going to go to a live look at what's happening now outside the Capitol. Barack Obama is making his way to his seat to be sworn in as the 44th President of the United States.